everyone, welcome back to another book video. Book videos in general, any kind that I do, book blogs, wrap-ups, anything, are some of my favorite videos to film. So I thought I'd put everything that I do book related into this one video dedicated to the book girlies. I go through my May wrap-up, set my summer TBR together, finishing up some books that I'm reading right now and starting some new ones. And of course we have to go book shopping. And I just really want to do everything that I love to do book related because this past month has been my biggest book slump that I have ever been in. I don't know what it is. Even if I'm reading good books, I just don't reach for them as much, or I'm not like so obsessed with any of the books that I'm reading, and I'd rather scroll on my phone or watch a show, and I'm usually never like that. So within all this video too, I'm hoping to get out of my book slump, find some new good reads that are gonna get me out of this, and just like setting my TBR, hopefully it'll make me so excited to pick up all these new books that I'm getting as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed, after this video I'll be out of my book slump. The other thing is I have been watching so many good shows recently, like Love Island just started, I watched Sirens on Netflix, I started Summer House, just been loving so many shows recently, so I think that definitely is what's been pulling me away from my books, and I need to get out of that because that's like not what I like to do. I'd rather read. Anyways, huge ramble, but so excited for this video and everything that we're gonna get up to. But I first wanted to talk about my May wrap up. I usually either do a dedicated video on YouTube with my wrap up talking about all the books that I read, or do something over on TikTok. And I didn't talk about the books I read in May anywhere because I only read 3. And you know, no judgment if you read any books. You read one book in like 3 months, I'm so proud of you. It doesn't matter how much anybody reads. It doesn't make you less of a reader or anything. I just usually read so much more than 3 books. So I was like, I don't want to like just talk about 3 books in a video. I did read some good books and some like anticipated reads, some anticipated new releases. I've just been feeling so slumpy, and all of them took me so long to read. First, in the month of May, I read Emily Henry's new release, A Great Big Beautiful Life. This is, I think, what kicked off the reading slump for me. I was really excited to try something new from Emily Henry, a bit more fiction focused than romance, and the premise of this sounded so good. It basically is following 2 writers, and then also the woman they are writing a biography about. It comes from this huge rich American dynasty family. You kind of just go through her life and how her family came to be this very wealthy family, and then you're also following the writers and their story and their romance a little bit behind the scenes of like getting to work and get to know this woman. And I really liked that premise, but I just don't think any part of it really kept me super hooked. In the beginning, I was really into the writers and their story and like getting into the romance a little bit, and I kind of was bored with Margaret's story. And then in the end, it kind of flipped where I was really into Margaret's story, but then the romance kind of fell off for me. So at no point in this book was I like loving the whole thing, which is kind of disappointing, but I really enjoyed my reading experience overall. I obviously love Emily Henry's writing. She is like definitely my favorite author. She's written so many of my favorite books, and there was definitely some beautiful moments and quotes, and I really liked the setting of this book. I wasn't hooked. It didn't really fully do it for me. And I also think I wasn't fully emotionally connected to Margaret and her story. I was kind of just like waiting for the other shoe to drop the whole time we were getting her story in crumbs. I kind of just was waiting for like more drama from it. It definitely was interesting, but it was a little bit more, I don't know, I just thought there was gonna be something more surprising or more drama from her story. So I ended up giving this a 3 stars, which is a little disappointing for Emily Henry, but I did enjoy my reading experience overall. But again, it just took me so long to get through. And next I read Deep Cuts by Holly Brickley on my Kindle, and I've been seeing so many people talk about this book and kind of relate it a little bit to Daisy Jones and the Six. And let me first of all say, do not go into this book thinking it's anything like Daisy Jones and the Six. That is one of my favorite books ever, and this really had nothing to compare it to other than just like the storyline of music helping drive both of the stories. The plot of this was so interesting. It was early 2000s, a kind of messy relationship growing throughout the years. You get them meeting in college and just like seeing how their stories evolve, and one of them is a very talented musician, and one of them is just a lover of music and helps the musician grow and become this famous star. I really enjoyed the deep connection to music and how like all the early 2000s music, they related to what was going on with the characters in their time of life. That was super interesting, and like knowing all those songs was fun. However, I think for this book, it just lacked that emotional connection to me. I wasn't really into either of the characters necessarily. I feel like I was just kind of like watching from the outside, but didn't really connect with them. There was a few scenes that I was hooked for, but just overall in this book, I kind of just wanted more. I wanted more depth. I wanted to just like see the intricacies of their lives together more. Like it kind of gave that normal people vibe where you're just following them and their relationship and how they're like in and out throughout the years, but normal people did it in like such a beautiful, heart-wrenching way. And this one, I just didn't really get that as much from. I think I really enjoyed the music focused concept of this book, but overall just wanted more and didn't really connect to it. So I gave this a 2 stars. And lastly in May, I read Remarkably Bright Creatures. This was like the sweetest, most lovely book. I was so into the storyline of this and the characters. We are following a 80-year-old woman who has lost a lot of people in her life, so she's kind of lonely, and she works at an aquarium where she befriends an octopus. And we also get the octopus's point of view, which was the best part of the whole entire book. I loved hearing the octopus talk and how extra smart they are, and obviously it's fiction, but just like hearing how he thought about humans and everything was so sweet, and how their relationship builds. And there's a bit of mystery throughout this book as well, with other characters that come in and are connected to this woman, and it was just so sweet and lovely. It was just a really heartwarming story about family, loss, grief, and how you're dealing with that, and just friendship overall. Friendship with other people, friendship with an octopus, and it was so sweet. This is gonna become a movie soon, so I'm really excited to see that and like see how they do the octopus in a movie. So loved this, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. So that is it for what I read in May. Not my best reading month, but also take it with a grain of salt of my ratings for these, because I am so the person who is like time and place for when you read a book can determine anything. Like you could read a book at the perfect time, and if you're not in the slump and if it's like the best setting, you could rate it a 5 star, and then you could read it at a totally different time when you're just like not in the right mindset and give it a 2 star. So take that with a grain of salt as well for all of these. Now I think we're gonna go do some book shopping. There is a bookstore like a town over from me that I've never been to, and it looks really cute, so I wanted to go and check it out, see if they have any of the books that I've been thinking about for my summer TBR. Just went to the first little independent bookstore, and it was so cute in there, and it was also called the Purple Couch Book Club, or the Purple Couch Bookshop, which is just so cute, and they did have cute little couches in there, and I just love like an independent bookstore. They're always so cozy, and it's also like the perfect rainy day, just the best weather for book shopping. And I ended up getting 2 books that I've been thinking about. First, I got Ellen Hilderbrand's The 5-Star Weekend. I'm really excited for this. This is like the cutest cover, and I read at least one Ellen Hilderbrand book like every summer, so I'm excited for this. And then I got Sandwich by Catherine Newman, and I've just seen this book a lot, and I've had it on my TBR for a couple years. It's based on Cape Cod, which is like kind of the only plot point that I know, and I go to the Cape every summer, but it's about like going back to their beach town. First sentence in the summary says, Rocky has looked forward to her family's yearly escape to Cape Cod, and that's also something I do with my family every year, so I just feel like it would be perfect for me to read this summer. And it's like really short and sweet, perfect beach read. It seems like these are some 2 good summer reads, and I just love finding a new bookstore that I loved, and like the ladies in there were so nice and everything. I also of course had to get a fun drink for my outing. I've like finally mastered my Starbucks matcha order. It's just a grande matcha latte, regular milk. I don't know if that's scary to some people. 2 pumps of sugar-free vanilla sweetener and vanilla sweet cream cold foam on top. I know a lot of people hate on Starbucks matcha. I do too. It's definitely not like the best matcha. I like it even better when I make it at home for myself, but you know, just getting a fun drink out is so fun, especially for like book shopping, you know. It's just a whole vibe in and of itself. ended up finishing my current read last night, One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune, and this book was such a treat. I ended up giving it 4 stars. Every Summer After is one of my favorite summer books, one of my favorite romances in general, and that was Carly Fortune's first book, her first novel, and wow, did she come out with a bang for her first book. And then her next book just like didn't hit for me. Something about the characters or the plots, just like I wasn't loving them. And Every Summer After, I think, had my expectations so high that her next books just were not my favorite. But this one totally changed my mind. We're back on it, and I think I might just like love these characters in this world as well, because this follows the second brother who was in Every Summer After, and we just kind of got the full picture. So I really loved seeing how everything came together and seeing those characters I love so much from that book in this one as well. But overall, I think Carly Fortune, what she does so well, she transports you into that wonderful summer nostalgic setting so well. These lake summers are just so special, and all the things they do, like going for boat rides, jet ski rides, reading on the porch, cooking with her grandma, like all these things are just so special and just bring you back to that amazing summer vibe. I just really felt like I spent the summer with Alice and Charlie. And speaking of Alice and Charlie, I loved Charlie so much in this book. He was such a like golden retriever, flirty, confident man, and he was just so good. Like there was tension throughout this entire book. Alice goes to the lake with her grandma for the summer. That's how they all connect. And Charlie's relationship with Alice's grandma and just the grandma in general, and all of the moments that she was in were just so cute. I loved all of them hanging out, all of them bonding so much. It was just so special. And overall, I think the biggest thing that I loved about this book and kind of the moral of the story was going back to a place where you would go in the summer as a child. They were kind of just trying to relive things that they wish they had done when they were 17 in the summer, just having so much fun. And I love that so much. I go to the same place every summer with my family, and I totally relate to that, just wanting to recreate those memories that are like so fun and what I loved to do as a kid. And they were doing that all summer. What a good start to my summer reads. I'm so happy with this. Art on this book is gorgeous. Like this is so cute, and the inside covers, like they're so beautiful. That is my first summer read of the year, and now together we are going to set the rest of my summer TBR together. I've been kind of curating some books that are on my radar, give the summer vibe, have the summer settings. Of course, this isn't just what I'll read in the summer. Like I have to mix up what I read, or else I get bored if I just read a bunch of summer romances. But you know, those beach reads, those fun reads that are perfect for the summertime. I'm such a mood reader. That's what we're gonna curate together right now. So unfortunate, it's been raining so much. If you live on the East Coast, you know we've not gotten any warm sunny days on the weekend in forever, but you know, we're still gonna get the summer vibes through the summer TBR that I have created for myself. I have a lot of books from my physical TBR, and then some ones that I'm hoping to read on Kindle or I haven't gotten yet that we will talk through as well on my phone. So let's just get started. Obviously, I haven't read these books yet. They're on my TBR, so I won't be able to give good summaries, but hopefully they'll spark some inspiration for you. But I'm kind of gonna go rapid fire because there's a lot of books to get through. First, we're starting with Judy Blume's Summer Sisters. This is about 2 friends who have been friends forever since they were kids, and they used to go to Martha's Vineyard together every summer, and they haven't really talked in a long time, but one of them is getting married and they're going back to Martha's Vineyard for the wedding, and they're kind of just reconnecting, and it deals with how complicated friendship gets into as you're growing up and how like things change and everything. And I always love a good book about female friendship, especially in a summer setting, so this seems so good. And then we have 28 Summers by Ellen Hildebrand, and this is one of those like cute little pocket-sized beach books. I got this when I was on a beach vacation once, so I got this little size, which hopefully I can just throw this in a beach bag. It's literally perfect. I always try to read an Ellen Hildebrand book every summer, and this is one I haven't read yet, and I've heard nothing but good things, so really excited for this. If you don't know about her books, where have you been? You need to read one, but basically they take place on Nantucket. They deal with real places on Nantucket, and there's always a ton of characters. They all connect in fun ways, and there's always like a little bit of a mystery, so they just keep you hooked. perfect beach reads. Another Ellen book. This is the 5-Star Weekend. As I said, this is one that I got yesterday, so I'm really excited for this. And the little bookstore from yesterday gave me a little bookmark that they put in here. That's so sweet of them. And I think this is one of her newer releases, so I'm also excited to read that. Again, from yesterday, Sandwich, Cape Cod, perfect little short read. Then we have The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune, and this has been on my TBR for maybe 3 years, 2 or 3 years. And I feel like this is just like more of a summer setting fantasy. It's about some magical kids who live in this house together, and it's really big found family vibes, which I always love. And I just have to get to this. And there's a lot of other fantasies on my radar right now, but I need to read this because it just feels like a summertime fantasy. So hopefully I get to this summer. Then we have Summer on the Bluffs by Sunny Hostin, I think you say. Again, such a cute cover. All like summer books have such cute covers. This is about a grandma who has a beach house in Oak Bluffs in the most exclusive Black beach community in the country, and she invites her grandchildren to come back to have one last big summer at the house, and at the end of the summer she's going to gift the house to one of her grandkids. So that sounds so interesting. I'm really excited for this. This has also been on my TBR for a long time. I don't know why I haven't gotten around to this. Honestly, I'm probably gonna read this soon because that plot sounds amazing. Then we have Pictures of You by Emma Gray. This is a newer book that I have seen, and I'm so excited to get to this. Another one that's on my more like immediate TBR. Basically, this is about a woman who gets into a car accident with her husband. He unfortunately passes away and she loses her memory, and she's trying to put together the pieces of her old life, trying to get her memory back. All of that sounds so interesting. I know we've all probably seen a movie with this plot, but you know, it's a really good one. Then we have Abby Jimenez, Just for the Summer. If you guys have ever heard me talk about this book, I always say the same thing, that I've read a bunch of Abby Jimenez books, but this one, I've seen so many quotes of this book that have just like taken my breath away that I haven't read it. And you might think, why? If you know it's gonna be a really good book, have you not read it? Because I feel like when I'm going to read a 5-star read or a book I think is gonna be 5 stars, I have to be in like the perfect time and place and setting to read it. So I'm saving this for like the perfect time, when I'm in the perfect mood to like intake a 5-star read. If anyone else feels that way about books, let me know. There's one quote about love in here, about like the little things that love makes up, and it is just gorgeous, but it will be read this summer. Then we have Annabelle Monaghan's It's a Love Story. I have read a book of hers every summer for the past 2 years. Her book last year, Summer Romance, I gave 5 stars. It was like one of my favorite reads of 2024, so can't wait for this. I just love her book so much. They look like just such simple rom-coms, but they are actually so beautiful and always have such a deeper meaning. So I can't wait for this. These I always save for when I'm on like a beach vacation too. Next, I have The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I'm going to the Keys in a couple weeks, and I'm planning on bringing this with me there because it's about a tropical destination wedding, and there is a marriage of convenience trope going on here, and basically it's just a bunch of rich people funny drama at this wedding, and that sounds so fun, so entertaining, probably like the perfect sit by the pool book, and I've heard nothing but good things about this as well. That's it for my physical TBR. Let me get to some of the ones that I have written down. Well, the first one I know is Frederick Bachman's My Friends. I am absolutely obsessed with Frederick Bachman's writing. I've only read Barrettown, so I'm really excited to read something else. I wanted to finish up Barrettown, but I kind of was reading it going into the warmer months. That's definitely a very wintry setting. Really can't wait to read something else by him. Then we have A Perfect Vintage. I have no idea what this book is about. This cover just is drawing me in. It looks like European summer mystery, rich people vibes. Looks amazing. 100% judging a book by its cover, but I've seen this recommended to me a bunch of times. Want to get to that. And then lastly, we have Kristen Hanna's True Colors. This is one of her like earlier books, and I really want to read more by Kristen Hanna, and this book just seems the most summery out of all of hers. There's a shell on the cover of one of her versions of the cover. Another one is like a horse. It seems like cowboy vibes. I don't know what this one is about either. I'll definitely have to look into what it's about because her books are very heavy, definitely not like a light, easy beach read, but something that I know I will love and connect to. This is a very aggressive TBR. I probably will not get to all of these, but I do usually read the most in the summer, so we'll see how that's going. As I said earlier in this video, I am in a large slump right now, so hopefully I get out of that. Hopefully these books will help and I can just run through them. If you guys have read any of these and you're like, you need to read this above other ones, let me know. And if there's any other books that I should add to my ever-growing TBR, also let me know that too. My just absolutely genius idea for getting out of my reading slump is to read my favorite book of all time, Happy Place. I've been wanting to do a reread of this for so long, and I thought this summer was definitely going to be the time as we're talking about our summer TBR. So I'm hoping this will get me out of my reading slump, rereading this and feeling all of the emotion that this book brings me. I am really curious but also like nervous to read it again because I love it and connected with it so much. Like, so much. I always say I feel like she just like took stuff out of my brain and threw it in here. So I really hope I feel that way again about this book. I'm really gonna try to go in and like underline and highlight things during this reread and just feel all the feels that it's gonna give me. I'm so excited to get into this, so we're gonna start it again right now. Okay, update reading Happy Place. I was nervous in the first half a little bit that I was like, you know, we're just kind of getting like the premise and the lives of all of the friends and their friend group and how they met and how they came together, and I was like, okay, this isn't as like deep as I remember it, but I think it's just because Emily is like giving us the laydown of the friend group. Still loved it, but I was getting a little bit nervous. And then the second half of this book, there's like one part that just like flips a script and you start to get like what was going on, that like the whole miscommunication, and you start to get the backstory about how things fell apart between the relationship. And these quotes like steal my breath. I have to like stop and think about them. They are making me cry. I've cried like 3 times in like the past like 50 pages. It is just so beautiful and like so heart-wrenching. I think I just like relate so deeply to both of the main characters in different ways, and things that they say, their relationship together is just like, it hits me so hard. I just love this book so much. I'm so glad I'm rereading it, and it's so crazy to also reread this. Like, I think I read it 2 years ago for the first time, and seeing like how I felt when I was reading it 2 years ago and how I feel about those quotes now, and like still relating to them, but relating to them in different ways because I've grown in different ways throughout these years since I've read this book, is just wild to think about. Basically just making me so emotional, and this will just always be my favorite book for that reason. I just connect to it so utterly deeply. So I'm probably gonna sit here, finish it. It's another rainy day in Massachusetts, so I mean, good excuse to sit here and read. It's a Saturday right now and I have no plans in sight, so these are my plans. I just can't believe that this book is like real, honestly. Okay, I just finished Happy Place, and everything I said earlier stands true. Everything that I felt about this the first time I read it stands true. I feel like I've just never read a book where I can just like feel the connection and the love that all of the characters have as much as this book. It just feels so real. Like, I honestly, no book has ever given me such a like visceral emotional feeling. Like, reading this, I have like a pit in my stomach from just like the emotions that it brings me, and I think that's just that's just what this does, and that's why it's my favorite book ever. And I really just think though that it's because I relate to it so much. I mean, the writing is stunning. I can just like feel everything that is being said. I feel like it's a movie in my brain. It is just perfect to me, and I love it so much. And I really do think that this helped me get out of my reading slump. Fingers crossed. I mean, I can't say that like I'm just out of my reading slump after reading one book, but I'm really excited now to pick up a new one. I think I'm gonna go into a fantasy because I'm really in the mood for one. Even though it's summertime, I'm like, let's just read anything I'm in the mood for to get out of this reading slump. And I feel like whenever I'm like, ooh, I really am into a fantasy right now, I know that getting out of the slump is nearby. So wow, I'm just so happy to have read this again and to have all of my feelings towards it stand true. Everything about like friendship, long-term relationships, complicated family relationships, growing up, like finding your like career and your passions, all of that is just all jam-packed into this book. And it's like a perfect like 20s, early 20s, mid 20s. Just highly recommend. Honestly, at any age, I recommend to read this because I think it will hold true forever. But yeah, that is going to be the end of this video here. If you guys enjoyed doing some book stuff with me this week, I had so much fun filming it. And yeah, let me know if there's any other book videos or other videos in general that you want to see from me. And I will see you next week with another video.